Good morning, everybody. We are live streaming here on YouTube. I am Jason Hartley, joining you from sunny, beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. This time in a hotel room. We're doing something a little different, but it's all good. Joined here with Michael Achabe, as always. How are you doing this morning, Michael?
Doing good. We were going to collab today. Unfortunately, I am training back to back today and wasn't going to be able to make it into the office to see Artley in person. But again, we are happy to see all of you that are joining us today. And Carrie, you're going to probably have to take care of Beth too. She came in as a panelist too. Thanks everyone for joining today. Today, we're going to be talking about line styles, hatch patterns, and also what else, Jason?
Big ol' EOS.
Yes.
So today is your final day to buy. Today's EOS, so end of sale day. If you, for some reason, need to buy more licenses of Review 2019, Review 2018, Review 2017, today is your last day to do so. Other than that, you will be forced to buy Review 20, which is the latest version. So I do know there's a lot of firms still out there on 17, 18, 19, hanging on for some reason that I don't fully understand. But if you need more, today is your absolutely last day to do it. So today, March 22nd, that's it. So you can certainly reach out to us at ATG and we can help you with that, or go to your vendor of choice and grab some more old versions if you need them. Otherwise,
is today the last day?
Yep.
Or was it yet?
I double checked it yesterday because today starts the countdown, right? So officially, as of today, there's 1 year. So March 21st, 2023 is when all those versions officially reach their end of life.
Oh, because they don't do a year through the 22nd.
Right.
They do the year up to the day before, which makes sense. Okay.
Correct. So we will be, helping a lot of firms get up to speed with 20 over the next year, because those products are officially in their end of life countdown as of today. And
so that means Bluebeam Drawings too. So Bluebeam Drawings is going to be gone in a year from now as well.
It's going to be not gone. It's going to be rolled into Bluebeam Cloud. So it'll be one of those functions.
Yes.
But it will probably have a different name.
Yeah, it was more in its cocoon stage.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it from an analogy.
Oh my. Big.
Because then it's going to be a butterfly when it becomes Bluebeam Cloud.
Right. Yes, Doug, the new release, everything that we see still shows a July release. We don't know if it'll be called Bluebeam 21 or Extreme Ultra Mega, whatever. We'll figure that out in July, but I'm guessing that once they get closer to that date, they'll start announcing it. So
my vote is on 21. That is where my wager is. Because they call this Review 20, right? And then they announced that they are not going to be annually year locked. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to be additions of what Review is by the number. Again, not annually year locked is where they changed that up. I'm going to vote for Extreme Ultra.
That's what I was going for. I like that. And then you got, Bluebeam Cloud, and then you got Studio, and then you got Prime, and then they all form a Megazord.
Yep.
Or whatever of Bluebeam
and then you
capabilities.
Have other things coming out.
Trademarks.
Can't name.
Bluebeam can pay me for that naming convention right there. But we're looking forward to seeing what comes with it and what new changes, because right now we're helping a lot of folks get ramped up to being on the latest version, 20.2.60, with active maintenance. That will give you all the things that you need to work in the new versions without any issue.
Yeah, basically you'll be able to, if you're just purchasing Review 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have active maintenance for the year, because you pay annually for that, and you can break it down to a monthly cost, which is cheaper than the A word. But then from there, what you're able to do is get the newer version that comes out, right? So that's what maintenance gives you, is the newest version, and also any feature updates, because that's how they release. They're not doing any more feature updates from now until the newest version comes out. So you won't see any updates in 20, but you will be able to get access to the newer version once it comes out and is released in July, which we don't know it's going to be named. I'm with Review 21. Artley is Mega Ultra something.
It'll be something like that.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe we'll come up with some names and put it in a poll when we get closer to July, and we'll see what wins. Anyway, let's fire up Review. So today, let me give you a little history here. So here at ATG, we are a Bluebeam Platinum partner, right? We're also an Autodesk Platinum partner. So we support a lot of architecture and engineering firms, structural firms across the country with their CAD needs, lumping everything in that CAD terminology, whether that be Revit or AutoCAD or Civil 3D. Well, each of those platforms has their own line types, and those line types are used to display lots of different things. Well, we can do line types in Review as well. So what we want to be able to do is create some line types in Review that might match what we see in CAD, right? Because what we want to do is maybe do some markups that are a little better than squiggles, or we want to make up for bad penmanship or whatever else. So we can create different line types in Review, save them, share them accordingly. So I will let Michael take off from here and do his thing.
Thanks, Jason. And I'll let you monitor everything else. Jason is working on a single monitor, so I will be taking over today for this instance. But basically what we're going to be talking about is how to customize your line styles and hatch patterns. Hatch patterns has the same modification tools that you're able to do with line styles in terms of custom, what would it be, like custom pattern, I guess, or just custom whatever shapes you want to make. But in order to go through and do this, Jason did send me, did you send me a hatch or did you send me lines?
Sent you lines.
Okay. So these are saved out as .blx files. I will open his up to show you what that looks like. And this can go a couple of ways to open this. I'm going to save this to my desktop here. You can do a couple things to gain access to it. You can just click it. You don't have to go through to the import location, just like your tool sets or your profile. You can double click it from your Windows and you're able to go in and select it and it'll populate open. Now, when I go and look here, I now have his newest created line styles that show up below. The one gripe that I have is it has you separate these by type in here. So when you're under manage, it has the line style sets, but they don't give you any distinction between line style sets here.
Like a little border would be great.
Yeah, that's my only gripe with these. So just be aware of that. It doesn't separate any of them. Like this is its own style set and it has one in them. And then these are their own as well. But anyways, let's get back to it.
Wait a second. Hang on. What if we made a dummy line style that served as a divider?
You could. Yeah. Name it.
Ooh, I'm going to play with this later.
Okay. So you could name it something different like separator. And then the line is a separator. And that is in every single one of these, right? That you use as a separator. But okay. So this does follow with when you share these also your profile. So if you ever have wondered, can these come and be shared with your profiles when you share them with other colleagues? Are they attached or anything like that? If you go to manage profiles and you include dependencies, they are. So be aware of that. If you want to share them singularly, you do have those options of going through. And I believe when you have your deployments, and Kyle Davis is here, when you have your deployment, you're able to deploy on a separate line item, your tool sets, and also your line styles is where you would add your line styles there. So it's on the second bracket of your deployment guide. It's a subscript after the MSI package. And I'm correct. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Kyle. Learned it from you. So when we go to here, you can go to manage to create your own. And when you have your line style sets, that's what we were saying here. You create a set of ones that you want to use. And I went through some training and you'll see some that I've created for some other people. But as you're going through, you'll see ones that have been added. So ATG Civil. So I'm assuming you created this for the civil team over here at ATG.
Yep.
And what you're able to do with these is, again, you create sets. So there's going to be the subsets within the sets here that are going to show up and be able to be controlled to selection, right? And that's what my gripe was, is that, hey, these aren't broken up with separators, but you can reorganize the way these are shown up here. So if you wanted one before or after, right, you can use the blue arrows to move them in terms of order when you have the drop down here of selection of line style. This is also where you can import them or export them, again, saved as BLX files. You can add a new one here, or you can modify an existing one. So I can see the ones that he's created, but we are going to add one. So I'm going to hit add. I'm going to say new. This would just be an existing path, right? You're just pathing through an existing path, even though you could just hit import here. No, it's super. I always wonder why they have two different areas where you can do it another way to bring it in. But new, we're going to title this MCR, and relative path versus non-relative path. For those folks that have been in the design environment, relative path, right? How's it going to search for the file name or the folder? So this is going to search for the file name, decheck it. It's going to look for the folder. So if it moves, you're kind of out of luck because it's not going to find it. But I'm going to hit OK. Now these are where you're going to create your sets. So these are the styles that you're going to create. So from here, I'm able to go through and add a new style. We'll name it Jason, because Jason's going to tell me what he wants me to create. So this is going to be Jason's style. Let's see how cool Jason is with creating an idea of a style. So what we have here is the editor, and I wish AutoCAD had this for its line creation, and it doesn't, because it is extremely streamlined and simple as we're going through and just making some simple clicks and creating our own line style. Now, be aware, scale with the line thickness. So are things, when you change the point thickness, going to change here? So just be aware, this is something I used the other day. It is super helpful because if you start adding more to it, is this going to grow and become bolder if it's a text or something like that? Just be aware of that. Now let's go down to here. So this is your first iteration. Here's your preview of what's going to be taking place. Now, if I want to add another one, you can see another one is placed in the offset of them as well as right here. So Jason, you're going to tell me what you want to see.
I want a triple line style. So I want 3 lines, and I want the middle line to be a bunch of J's.
Okay. So since there's 2 lines here now as shown, but I want to modify the middle line as J, I'm going to select the middle line and I'm going to add some components to it. So right here is where you add the components to whatever line you have existing or have added, right? So all I have to do is go here and hit plus, and I get to change this to dash, space, dot, text, vector. You get a lot of options in here to go through and decide what you want to change this as. And for this instance, Jason wanted text. And do you want it to start with J, or do you want it to be a space, then text? What'd you say?
We'll do space first.
Okay.
And then a text.
Then the text.
And that text, see, once you bring over the text, now you got no more options.
Now I got no more, more options.
You have more options on the right.
You confused me.
So
the space here is the width of the space. So from here to here, it's 3. Then it's your text that you've placed. So now I can go here and just put a J. And then what type of fonts you'd like. What type of font do you want? Do you want to be Gothic today? Here we go.
Yes.
Boom.
There we go. Perfect.
Font size, we'll just put 8. Ooh, that's going over. That's not good. I guess if I change this to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that's that line. So 2, never mind. So I want this line to have an offset.
There you go.
No, wait. Yeah.
It always takes a little bit of experimentation.
Oh, modify. Don't hit enter, folks. And then so this is up. Oh, you can go negative. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That looks good.
Alrighty. And then you have show text upright or not, what font, bold or italic. You have options here. And then let's just show you a couple more. We're not going to use them, but you have dash. So if you wanted it to be a dash, dot, we did text. Vector is the same kind of window you'll have for hatch patterns. So if I hit OK here, this is where you can draw whatever you'd like, and it's going to show up. Okay. So you have the options of creating and drawing whatever you'd like. You could have a fill. You can have snap to grid. So when you're in here, you're going to be able to snap to the grid when you're clicking points. You have your options of going through and creating your own for that one. And I didn't hit negative again. Don't hit escape. I'm used to escape from good old Revit. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna hit OK. There's Jason's. Now, are there any Q&A questions?
There is a great Q&A question, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. You're doing it. Okay. I'm gonna hit OK. And now that's been added. And again, our gripe was, well, actually, let's just do that for this instance. Let's add one.
Space.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I'm just going to keep it a regular line. But what I can do is I can move it up so that it's first, right? That's probably what you'd want to do. And keep it simple, just a line.
Or make it blank. Can you do that? Oh, okay. Add the line and then turn it into a space. Add component space and then. Ooh.
Still just a decimal.
Denied. Maybe you just try dots.
Oh, no, that's because that's right. Hold on. Because if we remembered, we've done this before.
I don't know.
Where you have to once you add a new one, you have to close it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a question here.
Like when you modify the existing line.
Yeah. So let's see. If you add a dash and text on a single line, is there a way to move the dash to be vertically centered on the text? There should be an offset option.
So here you go.
Oh, look at that. So yeah, instead of space, you'd call it, maybe make it all capitalized and put special or civil or, interior or whatever else. You could change your line types and have a little divider there. That could work.
Yep. We hacked it. So now what we can do is go through and select Jason's new line.
Ooh, that's beautiful. And
again, we have it growing and not. So the lines do change with it.
Mm-hmm. So set that up. So go back and add a bunch of width like you did before. Now, if you go modify that text, will it reset this one? Or that line, sorry.
No, it won't.
Back to manage.
Yeah, remember we've done this too. So yeah, you're probably telling me just test it. Okay. So go here. If I change this text to
do the scale with line thickness one.
Oh, okay.
So before and after type of thing. Okay. Didn't do anything, but if you create a new line with that line style, you hopefully don't have to restart again. There you go. Look at that. Way different.
What happens if I use space? It's there, but it's invisible.
Oh, that's a good way to match with somebody. We don't want to do that, though. Interesting.
Alrighty. Do we have any questions around line styles and how to share them? Do they come over with profiles or anything like that? What questions do we have?
About that in particular, other than that question about if you add a dash and text on a single line, is there a way to move the dash to be vertically centered on the text? So similar to how I have that irrigation line type created, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to walk through how to create that or modify that? Yeah, show how that one works.
So show this one here.
Any of those. Yeah, those simple line types.
And we want to change the line irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
Want to change the text?
just dash text dash dash. That's all that one is. So you can mess around with offsets for each of those. If you didn't want that dash to be centered, right, you can offset the dash alone, right? If you hit, there you go. What happens if you give that a little bit? Oh, that's the whole line.
Yeah, because it's one line, right? Yeah. But what is show text upright? Doesn't give me a preview.
I think that's whenever you, so click that one on then. Show
Okay.
text upright. I think you didn't.
I think it was off before, right?
Yeah, I always leave it off. But go back to your text. Show text upright. There you go. And okay, and okay. And this now when you have a line at an angle, maybe you have to create a whole new line with that line style.
Yeah, I was just seeing what, because we're going to do an example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it won't let it flip over. Just like in AutoCAD, there's that setting. Try to flip it over itself. There it is. So that allows it to go upside down. Whereas if you go the other way, I bet it will flip the text. There you go. That's all it is. Yep.
That is.
So it follows that same AutoCAD Civil 3D setting. Not setting, behavior. That's pretty cool. So good question there. So I don't see any other questions in the chat for line types. Before we go to hatches, I like this question from Adam about the markup model states and the statuses. And the question is, do you know if Bluebeam is working on an exportable file for a markup list custom model states for review? So statuses. Can we export statuses alone? And I think we've tried something like this before, and we determined that works best with profiles.
The only way currently is with profiles. So if we go down to our custom statuses and we manage our statuses, how can we add and create one? They haven't given us a option of creating our own. And that may change because if we're thinking about it, when they've talked about Bluebeam Cloud, they're saying tool sets could be exported. They didn't say anything about statuses. So I don't know if that's going to be a reiteration in cloud, but the only way to control statuses is either A, it saves default to your PDF, right? So if I go through and modify, create a custom status for this review and set it's going to change color when I mark it as completed, this is going to stay with the PDF as of current, right? I didn't hit save to profile, which this one's already saved to profile. So this would actually stay with the profile. But if it wasn't saved to the profile, give me an option to say save to the profile because it defaults directly to the PDF. So that stays and lives with the PDF. That way, if someone receives a PDF, they mark the status as completed with that PDF that you've changed, then it will change to green. Okay. That's how custom statuses work. Or you have a company profile that's already set up with the status to change a color. Those are your two options. And this comes back to when we were talking about Studio. How do you get everyone to be able to have the same status? Either the PDF was changed when you opened it here, or you all have the same company profile in the session. Those are your two options. I feel like I was yelling at people, but I wasn't trying to yell.
No, you're not yelling. I tried doing this 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I had saved a bunch of statuses and put them in my profile, hit save to profile, and then I shared that profile. And when they opened it, they didn't have any of them. So it's something I need to go back and test.
I think Kyle and I tested this once. If Kyle's still in here, he might have hopped on a call. No, he is. We tested this, right, Kyle? Because I think we had a support case, and they do come with them if you share them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is a great question, Adam. Could you send a PDF with a custom model state and then have them save it to their profile from that PDF? So if somebody sends you a PDF that's already loaded with custom statuses, Can you save them to your profile from that PDF? Good question.
We had to test that.
Well, this is what we like to do. We've got the time.
I'll just send it to you in a well, you create one and send it to me. No, just put it in a studio session, a project.
There we go.
Do we still have our morning coffee review one? I'm pretty sure you're in this one.
I was looking for the one that I had problems with the other day. Let's see, is it on my desktop?
Oh, you're not in this one. Are you in this one? MCR 220111?
I don't know. We've got a few. Oh,
yeah, I think you're in this one.
No, I don't have that one.
Hmm.
Oh, fine. Well, we can use our the NOLA one, right?
That's a session. I don't want to try from a session.
Not a project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just create one and tell me the ID.
Yeah. New project. Oh, yeah, I do have the MCR 2021 one. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, dump it in there.
All right. Let's see what I can find. I had it saved. Ooh, I know where I'll go. Here. Profiles, manage profiles. I'll take that one and I will export it. Let me make sure it has a custom status in it first. That's always important.
Create a whole new state.
A whole new state? Okay.
Like a whole new status area. Yeah.
All right. So when I pull up my markups list.
Yeah. So create a whole new model and then a state.
Oh, I want to put a new PDF in here as well. Let's drop. That doesn't work. Interesting. Oh, yeah, it is. So I just dragged and dropped from Windows Explorer into my studio project to upload a file.
We're always wanting to go down rabbit holes, Adam. So it's fine. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. Status. Boom. Oh, I can't manage a status because I already uploaded it. It is.
You have to check it out. You just check it out in the project. Yeah.
That's what I did wrong. I haven't worked in studio projects in a little while.
So let me refresh. I'm assuming you already uploaded one.
Yep, I did.
To where?
In the folder somewhere. Hang on. I can't see anything yet. And we'll do that one. I'm just making some silly names here. All right. So saved, and I will then go and
so it's this one.
Check this back in. Added. There we go. It's uploading. It's in the airport folder. Technically, that construction set is supposed to be of an airport. And it is done. So now if I go back to the Zoom webinar. There we go. It's downloading the new version. And in there should be some custom states. There is Dunzo and not Dunzo. So creative. But there's the test. They cannot be saved to the profile. So you can't steal them. But it says
delete from profile.
That doesn't make any sense.
So, okay. So if I close this out.
Oh, because what happens if you check it out? You had it checked out.
I did, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, thanks for that note, Patrick. That's fantastic.
Why won't it show me them now? Yeah. Oh, no, this is default. Yeah, it won't even let me save them. Delete profile, delete from profile, and then save to profile. Maybe that works.
Yeah, that's a good question, Adam. It doesn't appear easily possible, but that would be nice to borrow. But then again, it doesn't take much time to make that status.
So that's what it is. It's delete from profile, add to profile. And it worked.
So now
I just had to say delete profile, delete from profile, and then re-add it. Because I'm assuming maybe the two were the same. So I had to delete the existing two and then re-add the new ones.
Okay. But now that's stuck with your profile. So if you open up a different PDF, you won't see it? Or you will see
I
it?
closed out of the BCU. So I'm in just a generic PDF right here.
Okay.
I'm in Samtech, right? And it has them here.
Perfect.
So if I close out of these, so no one's confused.
I'm always confused.
They're still there.
Good deal. So not exactly super intuitive, but possible. So thanks for that trip down the rabbit hole, Adam. That was fun.
Kyle sent me one too. Let's see. He just sent me one from a PDF. And let me click it.
Oh.
So yeah, see, so I think it's because there's two of the same here. See how there's these two, right?
Those are usually they're always there, right?
Yeah. So I think since my profile already had them, it won't just see how it has these two already. It won't let me just save them to the profile because there's two already here. So it's like I need to be updated. So you have to delete them. But I'm assuming, so it's if I delete this one from profile and then save it, I don't know if it's going to add to the overall though. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it didn't even update this. Maybe I have to delete this from profile.
Weird. It would be cool if there was a status that we could set that would do like a strike through for text instead of just changing the color. Who knows?
Well, if I think, what if I open up a new PDF? Because those other statuses are saved to this PDF. So yeah, there it is.
There we go.
So it's because those ones were saved to this PDF and it wouldn't let me delete existing ones on that PDF. So I had to, once I uploaded to the new PDF, that was the issue. Okay. So I did have to delete, then save, and then it overwrote the existing one that I had, not on this PDF, right? Because it saves the PDF by default. It overwrote to this one here. Okay. So be aware of that.
Clever. All right. So that was a fun trip down. Like Kyle's got a question. Was that PDF in a session or a project? That was in a project.
Nothing. Yeah, none of these were. Yeah,
that's true.
No. But so what the issue is, and what you need to be made aware of, if you create a custom status, it saves to the PDF. That one is finally written. And in order to add a new one to a written PDF of statuses, you have to hit add. Now, if like I did with Kyle sent me one and I was wondering, oh, well, okay, here are these, right? If I delete mine from here and then resave them, is it going to update this PDF? I probably have to hit save, reopen, and then I'd see the new ones, right? But if I just go file new PDF that doesn't have any written statuses to it yet, right? When I say the save to here, hey, delete my old existing set and save the new one. When I go back to here, I'm going to see those newer ones right here. Because I'd probably have to save the Samtech, right? Save it out, close it, reopen it. Then I'd see the new one because it has already cached file statuses with it, is my assumption.
Correct. And you cannot add, you can't manage statuses from a session.
No.
So, so good question there, Zoe. Had issues with adding custom statuses to my profile and then no longer being able to use the statuses that were set for a PDF in a studio session with different settings. We'd love to see a whole deep dive episode on statuses. We would certainly, I know we've done it before, but we're probably overdue because we've learned some new tricks. And that's what's always kind of fun. If you do see a morning coffee review episode where, hey, these guys have talked about that before. Yeah, we probably have, but we probably learned some new tricks. And that came from either support issues where Kyle had said, hey, did you guys ever see this before? Or just from other conversations that we have throughout the week. So another deep dive in statuses could probably happen.
So these statuses do come with the PDF. So as long as they're set up before, I have the Bluebeam Revu, right? Yep. And that's what Kyle had given me in this PDF. So since these were set up before in the PDF, I was able to see them. Now, if I close this out and say, save to profile, delete from profile, save again, do these open up in these PDFs? Do I see that? So let me make a markup. Come on. Yeah, since it's the defaulted one, I'm getting just those options. It's not letting me bring them in. But I feel like if I switch profile, no, it's still the same.
Because you're still in a session and you can't do that.
Yeah, even if I switch profiles, whatever the custom profile is, doesn't have the status.
Right, because it has to be the same for everybody, right? That's the beauty / benefit / limitation of a session is that you can't change things that would affect the document because that's, hey, if I go in and I edit it or make my markups and then I get out and then you get in and add some different things, I'm not going to see the same options. That's why you can't add pages. That's why you can't do certain things because it's meant for collaboration. And if we're not all collaborating on the same platform, it's not going to be consistent.
So you would have to have the custom status completed, open it up. So you have it already saved to your profile, right? You would have to then save this PDF out, then upload it. Like you would just have to open the PDF because your profile is going to have these, right? Then you hit save. Then when you add it to here, it goes with it.
Yep, it would have to be embedded into that PDF prior to upload.
Yep.
So no big deal. All right, well, we got a few minutes left. Let's hop over and do some hatch patterns. So hatch patterns is something that we covered in a little bit of detail right before we did our gingerbread house build off back in December. But we didn't go a deep dive, and we do have a little bit of time left to manage some hatch patterns. But of course, if you have any other questions, please type them into the chat and we'll go from there.
So managing hatch patterns, they already have some from out of the box, but if you want to go through and create custom ones, you can hit the drop down and go manage. These are saved out as BHX file extensions. So they are a little bit different than the BLX or BLX
or BPX. There's a lot of them, but Bluebeam hatch extension, Bluebeam line extension is how I look at it.
So when you're going through, again, the same thing, you could double click it to activate it. You can import from here. You can export. You can also add a new one, which is what we're going to do. You can modify an existing one. There is no separator, just like we've seen before, but you can add a space or however you want to create because there's no space in this one, but we'll go through and talk about how these work. We're going to go through and create a title of MCR. Hit OK. I already have one. You can import AutoCAD pattern as well. So if you have a PAT file, we'll just add one here, open. You do have the option of going through and creating your own or adding from out of the box ones. Look at that. Bam.
So on a similar note, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of us do work in CAD and we do work in, Revit or AutoCAD or Civil 3D or whatever. And having that consistent line type or that consistent hatch pattern can make it a lot easier to do some of these markups so they're legible. You're conveying exactly what you want. Or if you're just doing preliminary work here in Bluebeam Revu without touching CAD at all.
Yep. So you do have the option of adding your existing PAT files. So again, importing AutoCAD patterns right here. But let's go through and create one. Oh my gosh, there's so many in this one. So I'm just going to hit add. We'll name Jason again because he's going to be the designer of what we want to have happen.
This is a lot of pressure on me right now.
So
can you do big circles and little circles and just do like bubbles?
Yeah. So let's go from, we'll do one. Oops, that's a little one. Why isn't it a full circle? Oh, because those are seen as them.
Mm-hmm. And you see in that lower left-hand corner, you're getting a preview in real time of what this is going to look like.
We can make this an inch. Oh, this is the size of this.
Mm-hmm. And if you turn off snap to grid, then you can place them a little bit more randomly.
Okay.
There you go. Weird. And you have to be careful with those buttons there. So there's that select, there's line, little dot, and then there's a delete, and then there's a trash can. Trash can wipes out everything. So the red X, not the trash can.
So you can't make a bigger circle than it's already here.
Correct. Well, you might, what if you did that size toggle? You can't do that after the fact, right? That's not doing what we want.
I don't like how these are square, but it's a circle.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll see improvements to that in a future version, or maybe that's something for the using that make a recommendation pull down.
What is that? Okay, so we'll just go with this. I'm gonna hit OK. Then I'm gonna hit OK again. And now I have a bunch of AutoCAD items as well. And let's look for MCR all the way at the bottom. Jason.
Oh, there we go. Don't know what that's supposed to be. It's kind of
so
bubbly.
These were close, but they're far away.
Interesting.
That's confusing. I'd rather just use these.
Let's see how it is. My hatch pattern's not good enough for you.
So these are just the out-of-the-box AutoCAD ones that you can install or have the PAT file for. So,
oh, and it even came with the MC Etcher one, my favorite one.
Which one is that one?
Etcher, go up. Yeah, that thing's been a part of AutoCAD for years, and it's always been. I really wish there was a professional usage for this hatch pattern. It's always fun.
You can make it a standard, right?
There we go.
And then, of course, at any point, you can change the colors for your hatch patterns here. You can also change the scale that they are at. So if you wanted to rescale these, you do have the option of changing your scales. It doesn't let you go down past 50. Maybe it's a limitation of that specific one, 200.
And if you open up your properties bar, there should be an angle option, right?
Properties down to hatch. No angle.
Rotation. Down in the layout.
Right here.
Oh, that changes the whole box. So not exactly what we wanted, but with some grip editing, it could make it work.
Yeah. All righty. Do we have any questions around those items? Why did it pull this out? Okay.
It goes pretty quick. That's why we wanted to include line types and hash patterns in the same thing. But yeah, they're managed very similar. They use a very similar single file type, and then it's just a matter of how you want to share them or embed them into PDFs.
Exactly. So just going through and looking at the existing ones, and I think they had some more. And where did that default path go? So this default path just went to my desktop. And that's where I had some already existing. So, ooh, bat installation. Oh, this came with all of them again. Oh no, this just added that one. But it doesn't show you. It doesn't scale properly.
Now, that vector-based modification for hatch patterns is very similar to that vector-based modification for line types.
Yep.
And I did remember seeing a question on the Facebook Bluebeam Revu users group about someone wanting to make a squiggly line, right? Like a snake type of thing. And that's really, really hard to do in Revu. I tried messing around with vectors and I couldn't get it to line up quite right. So if you needed a symbol like that, you're kind of stuck with more of a zigzag, unfortunately.
There is no import AutoCAD either, though.
No, which would be super cool. Maybe.
It's only the hatch patterns.
Mm-hmm. Again,
See,
I make a recommendation because the AutoCAD lines are in that line style.
But why would they do that for one and not the other?
Probably the coding is easier.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I mean, that's kind of the same with Revit, right? You don't, you can't bring over line styles into Revit from AutoCAD. You can bring over the PAT file. So maybe it's an exporting limitation of AutoCAD.
Right.
Okay.
But it's cool to see, you know, some of these softwares starting to work together, right?
Yep. AutoCAD's
plainly written here in Bluebeam. You know, and I don't know if we'll see Autodesk do the same reciprocation, but it's cool that our softwares are getting easier to work with one another. I know Esri and Civil 3D are working better together. You know, Revit and Civil 3D, even though they're on the same platform, are working better together. So it's pretty cool. Oh, Kyle Davis with the comment here. Revit does not support text in line types. So that is mainly why you cannot bring in CAD line types.
But you can support text here. So I'm wondering why.
I didn't know Revit couldn't do text line types. Are you saying it's an inferior product? Because I can do it in Civil 3D, just saying.
There's no need to, though. Well, I guess there is sometimes, but
if you're doing like a hot water or, you know, we need some MEP folks.
Yeah,
but there's a way to hack it.
It's an element that hosts the data for it, right? So what's the point of showing it's the actual element that's being designed versus a line that's saying what it is, right?
Right.
If you're putting a hot water line in Revit, it is a hot water line and it's the full diameter of what it is, unless you're having a different visual style. But still, when you click that element, even if the visual style is changed, it hosts all of the elemental data.
It's taggable, Marvin is asking. This is okay. We could make this taggable here in Revu. If we set a comment for irrigation, you know, so that's an irrigation line, right? But we didn't say, is it 1-inch PVC? Is it 1-inch copper? What is it? We could probably add a status and filter it that way. Or we could do a couple of different things to add more attribution to that line.
Yeah, you could, again, with any of these, if you've added them over, you'll have the option. We'll change it back to properties, but you have the option of setting your subject matter for it. So right
Mhm.
here, right, we can go through and say it's not a line or it's an irrigation line, but
1-inch PVC
yeah,
irrigation.
we can go to the comments and just say what it is, right? 1 inch. That way, when you have it placed in here,
Mhm.
you'll see it down here. And
Why didn't you see it there?
did I not hit enter on the comments?
I thought I.
Oh, I'm placing the one that's not from in here, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. There.
Pretty sure I just copied it down. No, comments
No.
are still not here.
Oh, what's up with that? That should totally have kept it.
This should be comments. Yeah.
No.
That's never happened to me before.
So what if you
What
take
if I
that?
bring down?
Yeah. No.
Still.
Okay, that's a good one.
What if I use something different?
Train tracks. Yeah, the goal, if we had the comments filled out, then if we were doing any sort of like estimation with this, we could filter it and find all of our 1-inch PVC versus our 2-inch PVC or whatever else.
It doesn't come over. Is my comments list gone?
Oh.
So with the custom line style, that's probably a bug.
All right. So what if you go to your properties and adjust it there and not inside of the tool chest? So
It's not showing here, yeah.
So if you added it there, and then it would show up in your recent tools, and then drag that down and see if that keeps it.
So now this one's showing. It's showing here.
That's
Select
just
this
wacky.
one.
Did we just find a
Yeah,
new
this
bug?
one's still showing it. So I don't know.
Well, there we go. Report an issue. Is that an issue or is that just a bug? It's something that we'd like
Well,
to
bug
see.
is an issue.
Or it's a feature depending on what software company you are.
Let's see.
If you change it to not true, it keeps it. What does that mean, Kyle?
Drawing mode versus properties mode.
Oh.
But I don't want the same exact length. I want to create my own, right?
Right. So the properties mode, I always get these confused. I wish they would change the
Still
name.
didn't show up. That's crazy. So yeah, if you click it, see it's the same length though, but I guess you could just then modify it. Nope, still didn't show it. Now it did. But when I changed it, I wonder if it's because you're changing the overall length of the line that it is. So hold on.
Now you can set your column for length too, and it should grab all those, right?
It's not a measurement.
Doesn't that show up in the properties?
The length, this isn't a measurement feature though.
Oh, I thought there was a length there, middle, up right there.
But it's not going to show because it's not.
I thought there was a. It was
on
in
a
there
poly
somewhere.
length. So, but going back to this, you'd have to place the, yeah, because if you go nothing, but so right click properties mode versus drawing mode, I guess you'd have to place an existing one, then the comment shows, then you change it. That's weird.
It's weird for sure. Oh well.
Alrighty.
So if you go to the line properties, there is a link there. It would be cool if you could pull that out, but I'm guessing it doesn't know the scale. Actually, it would if I change the scale.
No, because it's not
No.
a measurement feature.
No, that's true.
This is the distance on the actual PDF, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not losing my mind.
Nope.
But
Not at all.
okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Right? The morning is still early.
It is very early. All righty. Do we have any other follow-up questions on line styles and going through and doing hatch patterns before we end the day?
I don't see anything in the chat or in the Q&A currently. What do we have?
Anything on YouTube
week?
land? I haven't had a question from YouTube land in a while.
And fair reminder, while we're talking about YouTube, if you are watching this in the future, where it is not March 22nd, 2022, and you like what you see, be sure to throw a like up there or subscribe. That way we know that keeping stuff on YouTube is helpful for you. I know I've gone back several times and sent them to other clients and coworkers to say, hey, go check this out. We talked about this before. It's always fun.
Always subscribe, like, and that way you can see the latest one if you miss one. And also comments, we do go back and re-answer them. So if you're watching this as a recording, feel free to comment. All of you folks that have joined today, feel free to use the survey at the end to let us know how we are doing and if there's anything better we can do moving forward, or if you have any questions, it's always there as well. That is pretty much it for the survey. If you leave us a 4 and not a 5, please tell us why, please. Or if you leave us a 1, tell us how bad we are doing and how we can improve. If not, what?
I see a comment here that says, thank you. I learned something new today. So with that said, that's why we're doing this. I hope you all learned something new today, or if you want to show us something new, we're all ears too. That's always fun. Again, we're part of trying to build a community around folks who use Bluebeam Revu every day. So let's have some fun with this. We do have a lot of topics lined up for the next coming months, but we'll throw statuses in there and maybe we'll bump some stuff around because it sounds like there's a lot of interest in that.
Yep. And if you ever have any questions also that you would like us to answer at any point, feel free to ask. Certainly.
That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Well, with that, we can wrap up a couple minutes early, give you back just the rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you next week, and take care out there, everybody.
Have a good one.